Hey guys, it's Theresa here of Larkin Design. So I was just setting up my photo folders for 2019 and downloading some photos from my phone for 2018 and was putting them into the last folder for December and realizing that it was time to start my new folders for January. And so I thought I would film how I do this and how I have set this up for specifically for Project Life and for my weekly documenting. And one of the big reasons I wanted to share this with you is because I've noticed over the last few months that I've had a shift in my memory keeping and I've had a shift in my photography. And so in order to keep moving forward with my memory keeping, I think it's important to pay attention when shifts happen and when your life changes or your situations change and you realize that you're taking photographs differently, and then accommodate that change so that you keep going, so that you keep moving forward. And so I wanted to share that with you. These are my photos for 2018. These are the photos, 2017 and 2018 photos are the ones that I'm currently working with. I'm actually ready to archive 2017, so I'll be doing that over the next couple of weeks, and because I'm done with that album, so it will go with the rest of the family photos. But while I'm working on a specific year, I keep it here on my desktop so that it's easy for me to access on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. And I know that I don't have to look at 10 years of photos all at once. I can just focus on the particular years that I'm working on. So 2018 photos is divided up into months, and January, February, etc., etc. And then when you go into January, I have a folder. I usually don't even bother to name it. I just have a folder that I put everything into. Everything that comes from my phone, everything that I'm using to document my projects, everything I'm using to document our family, myself, my business, everything gets brought automatically into this folder. I did this because my iPhone, when I changed iPhones, I have the 8, you can tell it you can designate a folder for it to put everything in. And I find that really handy because then what I do is I open up that folder when I'm working on a particular week. I've been opening up that folder, and so you can see here all the projects that I had taken images of for the month of January. And before I was done documenting that month, this would have had all the family photos in it as well. And so then it makes it easy to take out those family photos and put them in the week that they belong in. And that way, if you can't get to it immediately, you know where they are, you know that they're brought in from your phone. And what happens for me more often than not is usually I'm downloading photos from my phone because I have a project that I need to edit and I need to submit. And so that's why that dump folder works for me. And then before I archive this year, I will go through and delete all of those unedited project folders. Everything that's in this folder eventually will get deleted and it won't be archived permanently, because I don't need to keep all of these images, but I do want to make sure that I have all the family photos first off. And so you can see here, January was a pretty good month as far as photography. There are some good choices here, some pretty a decent amount of photos every week, right? And obviously I have documented this month in Project Life, and it's all done. So for the month of June, you can see there's my dump folder, and then here are the weeks individually. And my photography here is starting to slow down. I'm going to go specifically to September and show you. First off, there's only one folder in September, and then when you go into the month itself, it's a lot of work stuff and just a few here and there from our family. Not a lot of photography happening that month. There's a lot of different reasons for that. There's a lot of different life changes. All the kids are in middle school now, so I'm not going to the school for things like that. They aren't involved in sports right now, so there's no sports activities to photograph. And life has picked up in a lot of other ways. Having 2 kids in high school and 2 kids in middle school is hectic in a lot of other ways, but photography has slowed down tremendously. And I think that it's important to recognize when that begins to happen, and take note of it for a couple of months. If you see that your photography habits are changing, take note of it for a couple of months, and then go through a thought process of how you want to accommodate those changes that are happening. And when your kids get older, they do start to get into a place where they don't want to be photographed as often, and I want to respect that. And they also have the opportunities to photograph their life and document their life the way that they want to, because they now have iPods and iPhones and cell phones, and they have their own ability to take their own photos. And so now I start the process of transitioning them into that mindset where they're now in control of taking the photos that they want to take. And that does happen over a period of time, right? It's not just all of a sudden I stop taking photos of them. You'll see in August that I still took back to school photos. I'm still taking birthday photos, and there's Natalie's birthday. These are the back to school photos here that I took to document that part of their lives. And of course, Christmas picked back up again, and so December photos, I have daily folders where I have all of that for December daily captured. And so I'm still taking photos of their lives and the significant events in their lives, but it's not as much as it used to be. So transitioning into a new year, I'm going to just go in here and create a new folder for 2019 photos. Hooray. And I find this incredibly exciting. It's exciting to look at a new blank folder and sort of get into a new mindset, a mindset of change, a mindset of accommodating and continuing to move forward, and figuring out how I'm going to do my photography this year. And so one of the things that I am going to change to is monthly layouts versus weekly layouts. There's a couple of different reasons for that. I'll be going over that later when I share my 2019 memory keeping goals with you. I plan to share that next week. But I still, of course, want to accommodate my photography, and I still want to regularly bring in photos and have them stored chronologically by month. So I'm going to just create my new folders, not a shortcut. I'm going to just create my 12 folders here, and that's all I'm going to do for today. And you can just create 6 months if you want to at this point, if that helps you feel less overwhelmed, or whatever, however you feel like you need to do it. I'm just sharing with you the way that it works for me. I usually like to set up all 12 months just so that I know they're there. There's my 12 folders, and then I also will need the dump folder. So that folder I'm going to call projects, because I know that eventually that's what will end up being in that folder, and eventually I'll be able to delete that whole folder. And then let's go into, actually I didn't want to go into it, I wanted to name it. And my computer is a little laggy because the screen capture slows it down. So sorry about the lag here. And notice how I name it 01 January, 02 February, so that it stays in numerical order. Okay, and then I'll go into January, and I will set up these. So I'll have projects and this thing is so slow right now, and family photos. And then within family photos, I'll usually have a DSLR folder as well. And then once I have that, I'm going to go into that folder again. Photos. This is my desktop here, and so this is where I have all the family photos archived. This archives every night. Alan has it set up to run an archive, a backup every night, so that I know that those photos aren't going to get lost. But what I can do now is, let me grab these. I'm going to Control-C on a PC, and then I can go in here and go into February and copy paste those empty folders so that they're already there and they are all set up. I'm sure there's like 50 million other ways to do this, but this is just how the way that makes sense to me. And so this way I know that they're already there. I'll go back and rename all of these by month once I'm done recording, since my computer is so laggy right now from running the screen capture. So that is how I am planning to approach my memory keeping and approach photo storage this year, and how I'm going to be approaching 2019 project life by month. And then of course I'll share, hopefully later on next week, I'll be sharing my overall 2019 memory keeping goals, and I hope you'll stay tuned and watch that. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you back here again soon. Bye bye.